The holidays mean travel. Why not skip the usual holiday hassles and the headaches and just go on an adventure? Anita Ngai is Chief Revenue Officer at Klook. It's a new company that's helping travelers do just that. So welcome to Bay Area Focus.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so first, let's talk about Klook. How long has it been around? And the name, where did you get this name?
Yeah, actually we're relatively new. So we started off in 2014, so entering our 5th year. And yeah, a lot of people ask us about the name. What it actually stands for, Klook, it's a contraction of keep looking. So it kind of really represents our mission to help travelers keep looking for their destination.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I love the story behind that. Okay, so why is Klook so important for holiday travelers? Why do we need to use it?
It really is just tying together all the conveniences that come from things like the mobile phone today and all the technologies that's available to just make traveling much easier. So I think we've all had experiences where we're in this very short trip and we like to make the most out of it, but we end up standing in line for 2 hours just to get into a museum or attraction. And Klook the app is really where you can actually save time. You can book your tickets ahead, you can skip the line. Yeah, so that's really where Klook really comes in for travelers.
Okay, so you can skip the line in some instances.
That's correct.
How does that happen?
Yeah, so you can book ahead for any sort of a ticket or attraction or a tour. Book on the app or even on desktop. And a lot of the things that we actually provide have this kind of privilege for you to skip the line. But it doesn't mean that you have to book far, far ahead. In fact, we actually have quite a percentage, around 30% of our customers who actually book on the same day. So it literally is them waking up in the morning, deciding that they want to go to some museum and then booking and still be able to skip the line.
So that sounds a lot like vacation destinations. How about the holidays? Because a lot of times people are going back home, but they do, like you said, they want to make the most out of their time there.
Right, right. Yeah, and in fact, even within the Bay Area, we have a lot to offer. So of course, if you want to go to close places like the SF MoMA, or perhaps even take a tour, the AT&T sort of the park there. Or if you're looking to do something like do a wine tour in Napa, and you obviously don't want to drive, Klook would definitely have a tour for you and be able to help you there for even a day trip or maybe a quick overnight trip there.
SFO has been adding new direct flights over the past few months. You fly out of SFO mostly. Yes. I usually fly out of SFO as well, or Oakland sometimes too. What are some of the ways that the residents here in the Bay Area, who especially are traveling with families, because that can be very stressful as well. You add kids in the mix and boom, there it goes. What are some of the tips that you can give people doing that? Yeah,
definitely. Still related to the point earlier, definitely look ahead and book ahead. Especially during holiday season, things do get sold out, or you do want to save time and make sure that if there is some sort of a privilege, maybe it's for a little bit more price, but you get to skip the line, is so worth it. If it means saving 2 hours from your kids kind of waiting with you in line complaining, I think that's worth a lot.
I'm sold. Yeah, you sold me on that.
Yeah.
Any destination you're seeing that is kind of trending right now?
Yeah, well, especially for San Francisco, talking about SFO, there's actually been a few new flights, direct flights that's come out of here. So one is to Singapore. If some of you have caught the recent movie Crazy Rich Asians, you probably know all about that. Yeah. A lot of sort of really nice, posh places to go, gardens by the bay, and even for kids, again, Singapore Zoo, night safari, those are really great things to do.
Okay, Singapore, we got to keep that in mind. Anita, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
All right, for more information about Klook's tours and adventures, just go to the website, klook.com. So you wake up Christmas morning and there's a brand new puppy under the tree. And actually that could happen any morning, right? But what's next? The trainers from the Zoom Room in Belmont stopped by the studio to give us some tips to help you and your new furry friend. Check it out. Zoe and Lala from Zoom Room join me now you brought a friend, Jetson.
Yes.
He's so adorable. How old is he?
5 months.
5 months. Okay, so he's in the early stages of training.
Yes.
All right, so you spend a lot of time training dogs, but it's also about training the parents as well, right?
Yes.
First of all, before that puppy comes home, what should we do to get the home ready?
Set up an area, so puppies shouldn't have access to the entire house to begin with. That's how you get potty accidents. So maybe baby gates or a pen, and definitely a crate helps with training. So getting everything first is very, very helpful so that you're not kind of bombarded right when the puppy gets home.
And you want safe toys, and you're giving him a lot of treats, so safe treats, right?
Yes, yes. So toys, you want to look for things that are kind of soft. Puppies really like chewing because they don't have hands like babies do, so they really explore the world with their mouths. Our kind of example is anything that feels like your forearm, that kind of has that give, that squish is really good because they like things that are squishy to chew on.
Okay.
So squishy toys, puppies tend to like squeakers, they get very excited, but puppies also have puppy brain, meaning they get very bored very quickly. So having a variety of things is really important as well.
So you have to have a few because they'll get bored with that toy. It's kind of like kids in that way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Puppy socialization, that's really important as well.
Yes.
Socialization is huge, especially early on. Between 8 and 16 weeks is where you want to get the majority of your socialization. Like 100 dogs and different people a day is not a day, but in general is what you're looking for. The more the better. That can be hard because your puppies can't be out when they're not fully vaccinated, so obviously you want to keep them safe. So you have to find a facility like the Zoom room where we have that safe environment where they can get that really key social interaction, see as much as they can, as early as they can.
And that's because they'll be comfortable with other dogs and maybe
Yeah,
people
so
as
it's to
well?
help them get comfortable. Their key socialization period, it's kind of when they're fearless between 8 and 16 weeks. And it really, as soon as they turn 16 weeks, they start going through different fear periods. So things that they might have been 100% okay with are now terrifying to them.
Yeah, a good example is he's never seen a cement truck before. When we were outside, he saw one, and instead of being, what is that? I want to check it out. He's over 16 weeks now, so instead it was immediate fear. I want to back up. So that's when it gets harder to train. Not impossible, but it's easier when they're little and a little bit less afraid.
And you work obviously a lot with dogs. Are some puppies harder to train than others? And is it just personality, or is that more
Lots
parents?
of things go into it. Parents are part of it, how much they work with their dogs, how much time they're spending with the dogs, but the age, the breed, and every dog just has its own personality. So there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Are you ever too young to start training, or you say start
We
right away?
start at 8 weeks. That's usually when puppies go home. They actually can't go home before that, so we say start as early as possible.
So Jetson's pretty young. He's a rescue from Mexico?
Rover's Retreat,
Yes.
yeah, Rover's Retreat.
Okay, so what kind of treats, or what kind of tricks have you taught him, if any?
He can do a sit, obviously. He
Okay.
can do a touch. I don't have it. Touch. Very nice.
He wants the treat.
Which is basically, yeah, we use it as a recall. When they touch your hand, that's teaching them to come back to you. He does a watch me, which is just getting the eye contact up. So watch me. Yes, very good. That one's great if you want to take lots of pictures of your dog.
Yeah, he deserves a treat for that one. Are some tricks harder than others to teach? I mean,
Yes.
what's like the easiest? Is it sit?
The easiest, I'd say, is probably touch or their name, actually. An important thing is teaching dogs their name because when they come home to us, they don't actually know their name yet. So it's something that we have to introduce to them. So teaching them their name is actually very simple, and touch is really easy because all we're looking at is for nose contact. But there are a bunch of different commands and tricks. Lured behaviors tend to be easier, so things like sitting down when you lure them into a position. Captured and shaped behaviors take a little bit longer, so captured behaviors would be like sneezing on command.
Sure.
Every time they sneeze, you mark and reward. And then shaped behaviors are things like bang or play dead, roll over. You have to teach them in different stages so that they learn the different ways.
I feel really bad because Jetson touched my hand just a short time ago. I didn't have a treat to give him. Poor little guy.
It's
He's looking for
okay.
one. It's okay though.
He's in the process of slowly weaning off treats.
Oh, okay. How important is it for families and maybe soon to be puppy parents do a lot of research before they get the puppy? Because I think sometimes people get them home and say, this is a lot of work.
Yeah, so researching, making sure that you look up, schedules, because dogs really thrive on structure. So looking up potty schedules, feeding schedules, that's really important. And of course, if you're going for a more unique breed like a husky, you want to research the breed a lot because different breeds have different quirks.
Sure. All right. Well, thank you so much for all of the information.
No
Happy
problem.
holidays to you and
Absolutely.
Jetson. Thank you so much. Thank you. Be sure to check out puppy training classes at the Zoom Room Indoor Dog Gym down in Belmont. Their website is zoomroom.com/Belmont. Coming up, a holiday show for the whole family, Tuck Everlasting, when Bay Area Focus returns in a moment.